Life is like a roller coaster, but it's so much better when we go through it together. It's true, we are better together. And this season, I'm asking our podcast community to do something together to make a difference in the world. There are hard things going on around us. Hurricanes, floods, fires, people hurting. And as followers of Jesus, we show up in the hard stuff and we build relationships with people who need us. We give. Each week, I'm bringing you a short piece of an interview with a special guest, and each week, you'll hear more about what we can do together. These are short episodes, less than 10 minutes, so come join us. So you didn't join a gang? Did you join a gang? Like when?
Yeah.
When did compassion come into your life?
Yeah. Thanks God I didn't. I wanted. Mm-hmm. And I was involved in a lot of fighting in my ghetto because every 2 blocks I had to fight with a group of boys who were in a gang. And that's a great question because actually my mother was worried about the reality. And the boy who lent me the uniform, he was a sponsored child. We didn't know. So his mother talked to my mom and said, my son is attending this local church, like an after school program. After school, he goes there and they provided him with the school uniform and shoes and food and all of that. And that was exactly what I needed. Mm-hmm. And so my mother applied, maybe 2 weeks passed. And someone from the church came to our home and said, that we got in. I got into this compassion program, which I didn't know what that was.
I was going to say, your mom, I'm assuming your mom was probably so happy, but did you understand what that even meant?
We didn't. She was really happy. I think she knew. Yeah. Because we saw the neighbor with the shoes, the school supplies and all of that, which I needed. So she was really, really excited, but she didn't understand how a blessing and life-changing that was to me eventually. Yeah. The only thing we knew, it was like a Sunday Bible school, but through the week. So we will come, I will attend the church 3 times a week, and they will provide for me 2 meals a day. Mm-hmm. Got my very first time, my very first school supply. Like school uniform, school supplies. And my mother now only had to worry for 1 meal through the day.
Right. That's a big burden lifted.
Big burden.
Off of her, yeah. And how old are you when you got sponsored?
Now I'm 7.
7, okay.
7 years old. I got into this local church. Now that you mentioned a big burden, I reflect, she was bleeding at night. Normally. And I didn't know why. One of the things growing up in poverty is that I was aware of death beyond what you will want a child to be aware of. Yeah. Seeing my mom bleeding through the night, through the nose, make me aware she's gonna die. Like that's not normal. You don't bleed through the nose at night. That's not normal. And it was a stress. She had no tumor, anything in the brain, just stress. And and having those 2 meals, as you said, it was a big burden that it was
lifted off of her shoulders.
She was released. And now I'm in this local church. And the reason I mentioned that I wanted to be part of the gang is because my very first reaction in this local church with loving people, all these resources, was fighting. I'm fighting every day. I am involved in fights. I'm running out of the church in the time that I am supposed to be in the church. I am, sadly involved in all these fightings with everybody, other kids. I wasn't physically fighting with the tutors, but I was arguing a lot, misbehaving. And those are things that I feel so embarrassed and sad. The way my mother reflect on this reality moment of my life, she asked a question. She told me once, do you remember you almost lost the best opportunity of your life? And now that I look back, she's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm very sure people listening to us might relate with the reality that we sometimes don't behave the way we should, and sometimes we are not thankful the way we should be thankful.
But isn't it amazing that God still keeps the door open for us? So even if we don't walk through it that one time, that He still gives us more opportunities to keep walking through.
Amen.
So when did you? You didn't miss the opportunity. Tell me more about that.
I'm thankful that you mentioned that, because the way the church loved me was the gospel to me. Just like you said, we didn't deserve grace. We didn't deserve Christ. And yet He died on the cross for us without us being His enemies. Yeah. And yet we receive a grace that we didn't deserve. In a practical way, this local church provided grace to me. And that's what I want people to understand about compassion and sponsoring children and serving overseas. This is beyond just supporting, sending money to a child in need. It's beyond just your credit card sending funds.
Sure.
Or just writing letters. I'm going to get into the letters in a moment. But it's about joining God and a local church in need, serving children in need, spreading the gospel to these children. And that's exactly what the church did to me. For these 5 years, they never get tired of me. They continue giving me love.
And pouring into you.
And one of the ways was my sponsor, Jamie. I have here 14 years of letter writing back and forth with my sponsor. And I don't know, people still use letters here.
We do. We do, however, less and less. And was very sad when my son came up to me not too long ago. And my kids are all adults, but they said, Mom, I have to send something in the mail. Which side of the envelope do I address it on? Where does the stamp go? Which side do I put the return address? And it's a little hard because young people just don't send snail mail very much anymore. Come back next week to hear more about Jonathan's story. To see how we can make a difference together, go to Candace.com and click where it says the word compassion. You'll see more about my story and be able to change the life of someone like Jonathan. Go to Candace.com, click where it says compassion, and join me. Until next time, be grateful all day, every day. Candy Rock Entertainment, all rights reserved.